So, what about for second part of part webinar?
So welcome everybody to the second part of our three-part webinar.
My name is Rick.
My name is Rick Nelson. And I will be hosting the webinar today.
Yeah.
And Ann Applegate is here with us. And she will be asking me questions today about the video. Okay, great.
So I'm going to be sharing the video first.
So I'm going to be showing you the video first.
Sure.
Share. Yep. Awesome. And then
shot of Rick Nelson walking with assistance from a caregiver. Snowcat Mountains Tower in the background. Title screen. They say no, we say fight. Part 1. Shot of a house exterior. Inside, Rick Nelson sits on a couch and uses his phone. Shot of Rick and his assistant walking out to the car. Shot of Rick and his assistant entering a building from a parking garage. Outdoor signage reads, State of Alaska Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. Shot of Rick at Anchorage's College of Business and Public Policy. Rick holds his degree proudly. Rick and his assistant enter the office of the Governor's Council on Disabilities and Special Education. Shot of Rick through the doorway of his office. Gold nameplate hangs outside. Photos of Rick chairing a governor's council meeting. A painted building facade reads Gwenny's Old Alaska Restaurant. Inside, a hand-carved wooden moose stands upright in clothes and a baseball cap. Shots of Rick sitting at a table chatting with friends. They say no, we say fight. Check out part 2 at epicnationalpartners.org/we say fight.
That is
Epic, Equal Partners Interstate Conference.
So that is my story,
So that's a little bit about my story.
but I didn't realize that I would be a advocate
But I didn't realize that I would be a self-advocate
until I was more teenagers.
But I didn't realize that I would be a self-advocate until more in my teenage years.
Because I was raised as a normal kid that they had the ability
Because I was raised like a normal kid that didn't have a disability. Until something happened and I had to. Until something happened in high school.
I had fought for what I wanted.
So I realized that I had to fight for what I wanted in my own life.
So that is what I became more advocate.
So that's how I became my own self-advocate.
So I have a question, Rick. I was sort of looking over all of the things that I've seen written about you and watched once again the Rooted in Rights video, and it struck me that nobody does this kind of thing alone. And I'm curious, like, who helped you realize some of your goals for yourself? Who gave you ideas? Who inspired you?
My big inspiration
So my biggest inspiration
was my mom and dad.
was my mom and my dad.
They taught me my whole life
They taught me my whole life
to don't fight, to fight for what I want.
to fight for what I want.
Because I am no person.
Because I am a normal person.
Whatever that I do for that I my life.
With a little bit of a different way that I live my life.
And that is that I have the
And that's okay that I have a disability.
but people should treat me the same as everyone else.
But people should treat me the same as anyone else.
Were there other people after, sort of secondary behind your parents in terms of giving you advice or direction or helping you get places?
But I had a lot of friends,
So I have a lot of friends
colleagues
and colleagues
that I
that I look up to.
that I get a life from.
That I can get advice from.
And I like people because I see myself in them.
And
I,
he said, I see myself in them.
I want to be where they are at.
And I want to be where they are at.
So this is a question we didn't practice, but I want to ask you, is there some advice that you could give people about that, about finding their inspiration and their people?
So, yeah. So I want to talk friends and family that you trust.
So yes, so I want, I would like if you find friends and family that you trust.
Because they are, they have, they, they have, they in your heart.
Because they have your best interest in their heart.
And they give advice on what they do. You should do.
And they'll give you advice on what they think that you should do.
Do I always take your advice?
Do I always take the advice?
Do that advice anybody else?
No, because that's just like anybody else.
Everybody else don't take everybody advice all the time.
Everybody else doesn't always take all the advice that they're given.
So why should we people disability?
And it's the same with people with disabilities.
So looking over your biography, one of the questions that I had was, you've had some contact with professional allies and people also who are professionals that maybe posed obstacles. Do you have any advice for people about how to negotiate those differences, or how to look for that just right ally, that person who's going to be in the professional world?
So that is a two-part question.
So that is a two-part question.
So the first part is you need to find the person who is the professional world.
So you have to find the perfect person that is in
The professional
the professional
world
world
that you trust.
that you trust.
Get there to be your best friend.
And get them to become your best friend
A mentor.
and mentor.
So you can ask the anyone. So you can have the help you.
So you can ask them anything that you want and have them help you.
That first part we already have people that you don't always agree with.
And the second part is we're always going to have people in our lives that we don't agree with.
You always need to embrace that disagreement.
You need to embrace that disagreement,
But make sure that you stand up for what you want.
but also make sure that you stand up for what you want
Fight back.
and fight back.
So was there a part or a place in your life where you, or places in your life where you saw yourself making a big step to a different kind of role, or like that aha moment where you thought that you were moving into something else that's bigger?
So I got a chance to go to Tokyo
So I got a chance to go to Tokyo
on a exchange program.
in an exchange program
When people that
for people with disabilities,
come to the U.S.
where people with disabilities can come to the U.S.
for Tokyo,
from Tokyo.
that we go to Tokyo
Then we go to Tokyo
for a week.
for 3 weeks.
And that changed my mind
And that changed my mind
and my life.
and my life.
Because I saw people with disabilities
Because I saw people with disabilities
in hospitals
in hospitals
and nursing homes
and in nursing homes
and
and in other institutions
that got put away.
that got put away.
And they have the voice
And they didn't have their voice.
and they got treated as they were country.
And they were treated like they were in a third world country.
And I realized I don't want America to go to that way anymore.
And I don't want America to go to that way anymore.
And I want people to have a normal life, normal as they can.
I want people to have a normal life, as normal as they can.
And so that is what I realize. I need to fight for people who can't fight for themselves.
And this is when I realized that I need to fight for people who can't fight for themselves.
Because we all have the right to American dream.
Because we all have the right to the American dream.
No matter how you see it for yourself.
No matter how you see that dream for yourself.
So it's been kind of a long time since you started out on this journey. So I'm going to ask you to think back and think what it's like to be at the very beginning of it. And what were your first steps toward getting involved with self-advocacy? And what made you start to find the places that you were going to be able to make your dream real?
I was 18
So I was 18
when I signed up for a program called policy making.
So I was 18 when I signed up for employment.
Policy making.
Partner
Policy making.
partner in policy making.
Yeah. And it was a 2-week internship.
And it was a 12-week internship.
We'll teach you how to talk to legislators.
And they teach you how to talk to legislators.
Yeah, how to advocate the right way.
And how to advocate the right way.
At last, that I knew
And that's when I knew
that I wanted to do certain
that I wanted to do something in self-advocacy
but I didn't know what.
But I didn't know what yet.
I thought maybe I wanted to be a movie director
At that time, I thought I still want to be a movie director
and make movies for people with disabilities.
and make movies for people with disabilities.
Yeah, people ask me why don't you get off the grand council?
And then people ask me, why don't you get on the governor's council?
And I said, I'm not ready for that.
And I said, I'm not ready for that
Because I want a normal adult life.
because I wanted a normal adult life.
I want to the house.
So at my parents' house,
I
Moved out.
oh, I moved out of my parents' house.
was free for the first time.
And I was free for the first time.
So that isn't normal, not adult person.
So like any normal young adult person,
I got in trouble.
I got in trouble.
But what people with disabilities should have.
But that's what people with disabilities should have.
But we don't have these. We don't get that opportunity.
But a lot of us don't have that because we don't get that opportunity.
So I did that for 3 years.
So I did that for 3 years.
Then I came back for Ireland
And then I did that for 3 years, and then I came back
for a trip
for a trip.
from
A trip. I came back from a trip
Ireland.
from Ireland.
And that is what I realized. It's time for me to get off the council.
And that's when I realized it's time for me to get on the council.
And that is what I applied to be on the council.
And that's when I applied to be on the council.
And a year,
And after a year,
I realized this is where my heart is at.
and after a year, I realized this is where my heart is at.
I need to advocate for people with disabilities.
I need to advocate for people with disabilities.
I know I have severe disability,
I knew that I had a severe disability,
but I didn't want to hold me back.
but I didn't want it to hold me back.
But I fought
So I fought
around the world,
around the world,
not around the road.
along the road.
Yeah.
So after you became a volunteer kind of member appointed on the council, how did you move into a place where you were getting paid to do advocacy?
I got to my degree.
So I graduated with my master's degree,
Yeah, it's time for me to get paid.
and I realized that it's time for me to get paid.
I've been doing this for 15 years.
I've been doing this for 15 years,
I need to
and I need to earn a living.
in a way that I can find for people at the same time.
In a way that I can fight for people at the same time as earning an income.
So I need that is what I got off the council at that moment.
So that's when I got on the council at that exact moment.
As a staff member.
As a side member. As a staff member.
Yeah.
So you said 15 years. One of the things that we were talking about before is that I wanted to ask, has this been a quick process?
This has not been a quick process at all.
This has not been a quick process at all.
I had to learn how to get my voice.
I had to learn how to get my voice heard.
And there are events. And there are events.
And there are events.
That happen in my life.
And that there are events that happen in anybody's life.
That make you become the advocate that you are.
That make you become the advocate or self-advocate that you are.
I have fought all the way to where I am at now.
And I had to fight all the way to where I am at now.
And I still have fought to be there for services that I need.
And I still have to fight for the right services that I need.
I don't need your aid and I did.
And I'm not going to stop fighting until I'm dead.
So fast forwarding to today and looking at all of the things that you do in the community, I want you to give people an idea of all the community organizations that you contribute to as a self-advocate. If you can list as many as you can remember.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. I can help it.
So I am involved in people.
So I'm involved with Peer Power.
I am involved in the Key Coalition.
I'm involved in the Key Coalition.
I am involved in Alaska.
I'm involved in Challenge Alaska.
I am involved in the Rehab Committee.
The State Vocational Rehab Committee.
I volunteer with at the
And I'll also volunteer anywhere that works with people with disabilities. Because I think
that people
that people with disabilities
should be in the line.
Should be in the spotlight.
Because we get put down.
Because we get put down.
That we don't care about our community.
Like we don't care about our community.
We want to benefit.
And like all we want is to receive like Medicaid benefits. Benefits.
That is not true.
And that is not true.
But I want to So the other side of that.
So I want to show the other side of that.
And then another question that we didn't actually practice for,
Yeah.
but I know you know it, is to give people an idea about the kind of the breadth of things that you do in your employment, because that's kind of the current spot where you are now. Give an idea of the places you end up going, you know, the particular types of work that you end up facilitating here, what kind of projects you're connected with. Just a few to give people an idea of what your employment looks like.
So I am the employment coordinator,
So I am the employment coordinator,
but that has so much that it has in it
but that has so much in it
that I get a lot with employment.
and there's just a lot of things that I do with employment.
That I get presentation
Like I give presentations
to different conferences.
to different conferences.
I help people get employment in the resources.
I help people gain employment if they need resources.
I am the employment transportation community staff.
I am the employment and transportation committee
Staff.
staff.
So I help the community how they want to go employment.
So I help the committee on different aspects of employment.
Yeah, I help with the DD share vision.
So I also help with the DD shared vision.
The DD share vision movement for people with disabilities
So the DD shared vision is a movement for people with disabilities
to have more rights.
to have more rights.
Whatever I do in your life.
It's what everyone wants to have in their lives.
Okay. I was going to add to it because I've got a list for you. I was just making my list because I want to make sure that you tell about that and about like the contact, one of the great presentations, the judge's disability rights etiquette compliance and all those kinds of things. I'm thinking there's more that people should know about. One, yeah.
Oh, another thing is the ABLE accounts.
I
train people on ABLE accounts.
I train people DD 101.
I train people on DD 101, DB 101.
I help with the visit
I help with the legislative visits
for the council at Key
for the council at Key
and Key.
and Key.
So I do so much.
So
Right.
I do so much.
That's sort of where I was headed with. I knew you would undersell what you do as an employee. And then the next question is, do you have advice for people about how to make that transition from doing kind of community volunteering to getting to a place where they're investing more of their time and maybe getting that part-time, full-time job?
Yeah. People need to find what they like to do as a volunteer.
So people need to find what they really love to do as a volunteer
Make that into a job.
and make that into a job.
be a leader like what you do.
Because if you don't like what you do,
You get burnt out.
you will get burnt out.
And people should always love what they do, no matter what kind of career they do.
And people should always love what they do no matter what field you go into.
Do you have other things that you haven't done yet that are on your big picture for where you want to go next? Either community involvement or a dream that you have? What's on your bucket list, Rick?
I have so many things on my bucket list,
I have so many things on my bucket list.
but I give employment and I give personal.
But I've got employment goals and personal goals.
So more employment goals.
So some of my employment goals,
I want to help people with disabilities
I would like to help people with disabilities
more.
more.
Be a agent
Like being a director of an agency.
or be a director of private that deal with people with disabilities.
Or being a director of a big project with people with disabilities.
I also maybe one day move to DC
Maybe one day move to DC.
Yeah.
to work for the Medicaid officer
To work for the Medicaid office.
to change regulations on a national level.
To change regulations on a national level.
On a personal side,
So on the personal side,
I question.
I am a little bit of a crazy man.
I want to go skydiving.
I want to go skydiving.
I want to for a 3-foot building.
I want to jump from a 50-foot building.
And but
And go bungee jumping.
I like try the world.
I want to travel the world.
I want to help people with disabilities
Because I want to help people with disabilities around the world.
realize
Realize
that you have disabilities don't mean that you're limitation.
I want to make people around the world realize, yeah, you have a disability, but that doesn't need to be your limitation.
I have the ability in my
Because I have a disability and nothing's standing in my way.
so I did people can't see anything they want.
And I think that people with disabilities can achieve anything that they want.
So my next question is following the same pattern, which is you just described some professional goals and some personal goals, and it's obvious they were right there. You knew what they were. So for someone who may not have an easy, quick list all ready to go, do you have advice for them about how you would start thinking about how to make that kind of list? You've already thought about it.
Yeah. Talk to people that are to
So talk to people who are close to you.
because they know who you are.
Because they know who you are.
And they can help you come up with idea that you want
And they can help you come up with ideas that you want
to achieve in your life.
to achieve in your life.
It's not hard. The big plans.
And they don't have to be big plans.
Maybe you want buy it. Maybe you want to own a dog.
Maybe you just want to have a dog.
Or maybe you want to be a gardener at work.
And maybe you want to be
Gardener.
a gardener at work.
It is whatever you want in life. It's what you should achieve.
It's whatever you want in your life to achieve.
Okay. Well, we're coming up to the close here. I was going to just give you a wrap-up question. Like, is there anything else that you feel like you want to describe for people about self-advocacy that we haven't touched on that you think is important?
So I is very important
So self-advocacy is very important
because people need to hear from people with disabilities.
because people need to hear from other people with disabilities.
Because if they don't, they will make decisions that you have to live by.
Because if they don't hear from you, then they'll make decisions for you that you have to live by.
And I don't want that for people with disabilities.
And I don't want that for people with disabilities.
I want us to choose whatever you want in your life.
I want us to be able to receive whatever we need in our own lives.
Have the dream to live for.
And have our dreams achieved.
So, I want to be able to be a part of the webinar.
So I want to thank you all for being a part of this webinar.
Please check out that webinar
And please attend our last webinar
about the key priorities.
about the key priorities.
So,